Howdy folks, if you're anything like me, you've spent countless hours scrolling through gear websites, looking at trip reports, and basically just dreaming about that next opportunity you're going to get to spend out under the stars. I mean, we are a pretty diverse group of people if you think about it. Our approach can be vastly different, but we all share that love for the mountains, the forests, the valleys. It's the way we choose to experience it. That's where it gets really unique. Today I want to talk about 3 very diverse, distinct styles of camping. And first up, let's talk about car camping, because this is kind of that gateway for most folks when they're getting into the backpacking, hiking, or just basic camping world. And it's the one with the least barrier to entry. So let's talk about the pros of car camping. I mean, this is by far the easiest form of camping there is. You walk 10 or 15 feet from where you parked your car and you set up your tent. You can bring all the creature comforts of home. You can bring everything from a propane fire pit to a kitchen sink. I mean, literally a kitchen sink. I pack it with me anytime we go car camping. It's fantastic. I've got my creature comforts. I've got fresh coffee. I can cook gourmet meals with very little hassle. It's a great way of getting that relaxation without having to get outside of your comfort zone. And best of all, if the weather changes, well, climb back in your car. It's just right over on the other side of the campsite. You want to talk about creature comforts? How about this? I've got a tent that my son can stand up in. I've got plenty of headroom. I can crawl around and play in here. We've got an automatic inflating air mattress that is almost as comfortable as my bed at home, and an extra plush, comfortable sleeping bag because I don't care about the weight. This is the ultimate in luxury camping. It's simple, it's easy, and it's accessible for everyone. But there's also some cons that come along with car camping. I think probably the biggest con to car camping is that you're never truly out there in pure solitude. I mean, you've always got neighbors, right? So even if you're in nature and you're surrounded by the beauty of the forest, you're always going to have people around. You're going to have the commotion of other families trying to relax and enjoy the outdoors also. And sometimes those parks or campgrounds can feel more like a neighborhood block party than an escape or a sanctuary. So shifting gears dramatically here, we're going to talk about ultralight backpacking. Now, this is not for the faint of heart. Ultralight backpacking is about the essentials, right? The whole concept behind ultralight backpacking is to minimize everything you carry to get down to the lowest base weight possible. The goal for most ultralight backpackers is to get to 10 pounds or less in their base weight. That means everything you carry, from your tent to your sleeping bag to your food, your cook kit, even your backpack and the clothes on your body, everything is under 10 pounds. Have I been able to get to that point? No, I think I'm sitting at about 12, maybe 13 pounds, just because I haven't given up all of my creature comforts. But again, with ultralight backpacking, that's the goal, right? It's about reducing and getting rid of all of that waste so that you can get as far out in nature as possible. The mountains and the rivers and the valleys become your backyard. You sleep out under the stars, and you truly do get to escape everything. Now, there are definitely some cons to ultralight backpacking. It is not for the faint of heart. Your meals come out of a plastic bag and something that you rehydrate on a small cook stove. You're not going to get any gourmet fancy meals if you're trying to keep your weight down. Now, you can cook some pretty creative and tasty dishes, but typically you're going to limit it to a one-pot meal. The other con is your creature comforts. You're going to be sleeping on a smaller mat, and you're going to have to rely on your sleeping bag and the clothes on your back to keep you warm and dry and safe. Your tent is going to be sub 2 pounds, which means you need to make sure you have the right tent to handle the elements you're hiking in. So you are really limited and restricted by what you bring with you. Should the weather change or an emergency comes up, nobody's coming to get you. If ultralight backpacking isn't rugged enough for you, how about bushcraft tarp camping? This is probably the most primal and primitive form of camping. It gets you truly in touch with the environment and your natural surrounding. Now, bushcraft camping is about far more than just sleeping out under the stars in a primitive shelter. Bushcraft is about connecting with our ancestral roots. It's about learning that self-reliance and resilience, knowing that you can depend on yourself with your own skills to overcome any obstacle that might put itself in your way. Now, the shelter in bushcraft typically is very primitive. It could be something as simple as a lean-to that's made out of fallen trees and logs, or a tarp. Simple, basic tools, knowing that you can build your own fire, create your own shelter, and understand that it's just you and nature. Now, there's something quite profound that happens when you're out on a bushcraft adventure and you realize that you can create your own fire, create a shelter, and you can handle sleeping on a hard surface. At the end of the day, you know that you have the skills and the knowledge and the resourcefulness to survive in the wild. There are obviously some major cons to bushcraft camping. One, you're exposed to the elements. So if the weather turns foul, you're gonna have a long, miserable night unless you've prepared ahead of time and created a pretty hardy shelter. I find that if I have a good pocket knife with me, maybe a folding saw, and far more paracord than anybody really should have a right to carry, that's just about all I really need for a weekend adventure. But it is limited. Your meals are going to be simple meals that you prepare on an open fire, and your sleeping area is going to be a bed of grass with a light bedroll to keep you warm. If you're looking for creature comforts, then bushcraft is probably not for you. So there you have it, 3 very distinct camping styles. One is about the primitive survival skills, one is about freedom and efficiency, and one is all about the creature comforts and the accessibility. We could spend all day debating the different techniques, right? Which gear is the lightest, which tent is the toughest, which meal is the tastiest. Vastly different between the 3 styles of camping. But if we look past all the gear and the accessories and the miles, you get down to one fundamental piece, and that's that we share a love for the outdoors. We're all here for that one profound reason. We're all searching for that restorative magic that only nature can provide. That first lungful of cold mountain air in the morning, or the sound of a river in the background that can drown out all the noise of your regular life. Whether you're sleeping on a plush air mattress or a bed of pine needles, you're participating in an ancient ritual. You're connecting yourself to the environment that we evolved from. And that forms a bond that lasts a lifetime. It washes away the stress, and it renews our energy and invigorates us for the challenges to come. When we leave the trail, or the forest, or the campground, you leave a little bit quieter, a little bit happier, and a little bit wholer than when you first got there. You've got a new perspective and kind of a new outlook. Nature has this amazing ability to restore us, no matter what's happening in life. So, I don't care if you walked 10 feet to set up a tent and brought your kitchen sink. I don't care if you hiked up to a pristine alpine lake where there's no one around, or if you had to whittle a spoon to make your dinner. If you're out here, then you're one of us. And if you haven't been out here recently, I hope you get out on the trail soon. Because this is a magic beauty that nothing else can compare to. So until next time, folks, I hope to see you out there on the trail soon. Let's go for a walk.